Well, hey guys, welcome back. Quick Speed Shop. I'm Josh, and today we're working on my Dodge again, and we're gonna try to put some fancy bucket seats in it, and I'm gonna unfancy them because I don't like complications. Now these are like 2000-ish Jeep Grand Cherokee power bucket seats, and it would be smart to hook them up with the power, but I'm not gonna do that because it's complicated and heavy, and I don't need all that crap. So first thing we're going to do is get rid of all the electrical nonsense, at least as much as we can, because these seats weigh a freaking ton. You'll see there's 3 motors on here, plus there's a motor on the side. And are these heated? Let's see. Geez, I hope not. Memory module. Oh, they're memory seats too. Oh boy. What in the world? It's not airbags in this, is there? I don't think so. I'm putting an adventure bucket seat brackets in this truck, which are came out of my 75 parts truck, but the seats were junk, so I needed another set of buckets, and I've had these leather buckets for a while. They are pretty comfortable. They're in pretty decent shape. They got a couple small tears, but I'm thinking I'm gonna get seat covers for them eventually. But they're very, very comfortable, and I think they'll be the right size to fit in the truck. So we are going to unelectrify these somehow. I'm going to go ahead and do the right thing and get rid of all the power seat action. So the big first thing I want to do is, it looks like all the motors, yeah, I even cut them. Actually, I have the plug here to the whole harness. You'd have to just run 12 volts to it probably, but I'm not going to do that. What is this? These things are super fly complicated. All this power nonsense bolts up with 4 nuts and bolts. So if I unplug these wires that go into the back of the seat for whatever they do, I think if I just unplug all this. Complicated. Yeah, I think I would just unplug all this nonsense from the back of the seat, whatever that does. And then I've got 4 nuts here that are on the seat track itself. All the motors will come right off, and I'll be left with a flat one on, and I'll show you a second on the side. There's pivot, what do you call it, the thing to lean back and forth. Is this the right size? What's the chance it is? It's probably going to be 13 millimeter. All right, here we go. I'm fighting this thing. Should say it's fighting me. Got the nuts off, which was a chore because without the motor running, they're hard to get to. Got some wires here that got to go through here. Ha! Yeah, there. Look at this control box of nonsense. Yikes. Man, that took about 50 pounds off the bottom of that seat. It's still got this motor for the adjustment in the back. This is going to be hooked on here. This was loose. I like how seats are always still just bare metal on the bottom. Alright. That's back on. I don't know what those do. Maybe they're heated. I still got this adjuster motor for the back and forth, but maybe we can hook that up and run it where it's got to be. But for now, I've got a surface to work off of, nice and flat. Let's go ahead and try to get this in the truck. All right, there should be plenty of seat here. I went ahead and I put the center, this is the Adventure centerpiece here. There's a bracket that I'm painting right now that goes on the wall to hold the back. But this opens up, ta-da, into a storage bin. This is out of the 75 Dodge. The seats are completely trashed. And actually this box is completely full of mouse nest. But it's been sandblasted and powder coated. And luckily they didn't get into the upholstery on the centerpiece. So that is the center seat. I'll flip this out of the way so you can see what we're doing here. Let's get the seat. Hopefully it's lighter. Oh, it's way lighter. Bring it around here. Oh dear. Look at that. Oh man. Now I said off camera I'm probably going to get rid of the... Oh, we're sitting on the... Wait, why is this so... Whoa, this is way awkward. What in the world? There we go. It's down in the hole, man. These are... Whoa, this is awful tall. Oh no. How could that be that tall? You climb on in here. This truck is not a tilt wheel, and it seems like the seat is awful close to the steering wheel. Whoop. Should I... Yes, it's the same height as this seat, though. Huh. Maybe you just sit tall in this thing. I wish this... Yeah, it's not tilt. I wish there was a tilt column. But... I guess it's not too bad. And these seats are going to be super comfortable. Like I alluded to earlier, I don't want the headrests, because nothing looks worse in an old pickup truck than have modern headrests stick up above. And the Adventure seats would have stopped at the rear window. You just got to be cognizant of rear end collisions. Of course, they would keep you from breaking your neck. I don't know, I might make a executive decision on safety later. But, yeah, I think these are going to work out. They fit on the bracket. It's sitting a little crooked. The mounts are a little funky. But I guess I'm sitting in here. And you sit way up in the air. That's actually not bad. I guess it's alright. What do you think about that? I would have used the factory bench, but it's completely shot too, and this would be cooler, I think. Yeah. But I don't believe it, but one of the front corner seat bolt is going to line up with the original front seat bolt. I don't believe it, but I got to. I'm looking right at it. Right about there, the original front seat mount. Like that. Yeah, I think it's going to work. Okay, I just got both seats set in here, taking a look, and it's going to work out good. I've got a bolt, like I said, through the front corners, through the front seat, through the hole. I've got to move the seats over a couple inches because I've got this gap between the center seat and stuff, and they're a little tight to the door. What I was talking about was the rear headrest. See how far they stick up above the rear window? I don't really like that. I'd rather just have the seat just barely showing. But these headrests don't seem to want to pull out when I try to release them, so they might need to get cut off. But I'm also a little nervous about maybe, you know, if you got rear-ended, you don't want to smash your head on the rear glass. These would provide a lot of support for your neck if you got rear-ended at a high rate of speed, which would be good, so you don't end up with a broken neck or put your head through the rear glass. But what's the chance of that happening versus looking terrible with having seat rests in the back window? Because there's nothing looks worse than a 80s truck with headrests in the back window. So I am severely conflicted. Safety third or make it look better? Don't know yet. But I was trying to figure out how to take this power motor off for, I guess that's the recline here. And when I started unbolting it, it looks like the seat would just flop around. So if I took all this off, I would have to make some kind of bracketry to hold the back of the seat in position. But I might need to remove it to slide the seat over a couple inches because it's got clearance issues with the motor. So, and I could also make up a pigtail and run the seat up and down with a battery just to adjust the back of the seat. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that yet. I think these are going to be all right. They are super, super, super comfortable, even though they look a little roachy. Like I said, I could probably get like seat covers for them, but they're like gray leatherette. They're probably vinyl, but they look like leather. But these are really comfortable seats, so that's why I'm using them. And they look almost like black, so if I could get some like black seat covers for them, that'd be the bomb diggity. Here's what I came up with to mount to the seat, since the seat bracket is so much narrower than the Venture Dodge bracket. I had some 1/8" plate, and I made some adaptators, and you'll see this rear one goes like this. It bolts through the back hole on the seat up there, and then it bolts through the other hole of the seat down there, and then the third hole bolts to the seat bracket. And I just scuffed these and rattle canned some black on the seat. This is all bare metal and it was rusty. And I'm going to paint these suckers in a second, but it's gone from nice fall to cold fall, so it's a little chilly out for painting, but anyways. And it did the same thing in the front. I got this plate. This one's hot rolled. These are cold rolled, but whatever. Scuffed it up with a grinder. I'm just going to rattle can some flat black on these. This will have the same thing, bolt through here. The seat will bolt here, and then the third bolt will go there. The adjustator, and I made a pair for the other side. So I'm just going to fog some paint on these right quick, and then we'll bolt these seats in and pretty much have them installed. Still haven't made up my mind about the headrest yet. We'll take a look after the seats are bolted down. All right, well, the seat brackets are drying. I'm out here butchering off this electric motor for the recliner. I already did the driver's side because it took a minute to figure out, but essentially you got to take in this plate here. You got to grind these two pieces off, take the screw out, and then you can pop this other plate off. There's a big clock spring in here and the action here, which you got to take off. Then you can get the motor transmission out here and then flip it around and unscrew the motor. Ugh. And then I'm also doing a little bit of butchery. This lower motor mount that is here with this extra stud that hangs down, I cut that off too. So essentially ruining the electric thing. The back is pretty stiff, and I'll show you once I get it all apart, but I think I'd just make a stop so the seats can't recline too far and hit the back of the cab, but then they'll be able to fold the head. So basically you'll just like pull the head a little bit and then be able to go against a solid stop, and they'll be like adjustable but not ish. So I'm just gonna butcher this off real fast. It chooses to run like garbage. Oh boy. This thing's got a super wide range 4-speed in it, and It makes it like impossible to drive in tight areas. That's third gear. Ported myself into a hole here where I can't get the stupid car out. Come on, man. See, it wants to chug along like at 20 miles an hour. Steep first, or real. All right, here we go. Of course, they'll do like 40 miles an hour in first gear. This thing needs a lot of work still. It needs the front suspension redone. It's still got original Mustang 2 control arms, which the driver's side one is bent on the lower side. It's still got 9-inch Mustang 2 brakes. I'm going to upgrade it to 11-inch brakes. It's got 10s on the back now, 10-inch drums. So I put 11-inch rotors on the front. I've already got the controller arms. I got Speedway tubular control arms. It runs real choppy in the front end. It's got QA1 coilovers. It's on its second set of springs, and I don't like the pogos the front end. Man, this thing is idling like garbage. The carburetors need to be rebuilt. The clutch is slipping real bad. I can't really get on it. It goes in first, but you can overpower it real easy. I'm waiting to get my lift up so I can pick the thing up with a 2-post lift, get the transmission out of it. It's got 3 deuces on it right now, which are all leaking bad, and it's running lean, backfiring out the exhaust that you let off, which sounds kind of cool, but I'm going to get rid of the 3 2s and go to single 4-barrel, just for drivability's sake. Check the gauges. It's actually missing right now, but how fast are we going? There we go. We're doing that fast. It just needs a lot of work. I got like 8 months worth of work in the rear end, unpro streeting it. If you go back, and there's a whole playlist on 40 Mercury, you can see where it was pro street, and the rear end and rear suspension was all broken, and I cut the whole rear end of the car apart and built new rails under the car. So it's got leaf springs, parallel leafs in the back now with a Maverick rear end. It's got tailpipes all the way out the back. It's got a 350, a 3 deuces. It's got a cam and stuff. It's a 70s Corvette motor. I don't know if it's 30 over or just got rings in it or what, but I got an issue with the fuel gauge. That's how I'm going to get fuel, because it doesn't read accurately. The ohms are off on the gauges into here versus the ohms of the sending unit. So that needs work. Some of the other gauges read weird. It runs at 200 degrees all the time, which is way too hot for my taste. So basically, I think hopefully this winter, get this thing up in the shop, or in the lower shop, maybe on the lift, and I've got a power glide I'm going to put in it. It'll be fine. I got highway gears in the rear end. A power glide will be fine. It'll have a converter, so you know, I'll put a loose converter in it, so it'll take off all right, and then with the cam and stuff, I'll be a little bit looser than stock converter, and it should drive fine with a power glide. I've driven other cars with power glides. I actually like it. I like to wind it out first and have it go in second. I like to downshift it into low and let the tailpipes burble coming off. It's kind of fun with a power glide. But yeah, it still needs a bunch of work. I'm thinking about Dave Chappelle, Dirthead Dave on YouTube there, and from Motor Trend. He just slammed a Mustang 2 and he built his own airbag. He did a 4-link in the back and he did airbags in the front. And I like how he used the stock control arms and stuff. So I'm going to go back and watch his videos a couple times. I'll probably put bags in the front of this just so I can pick the front end up to drive the car more. It's only about this far off the ground and it hits the nose on the ground all the time, which is really annoying. And I want to get rid of the coilovers. I was just going to put regular Mustang coil springs in it, but you don't have a lot of tunability or there. I think maybe of airbags, if I got room to put a small compressor in the rear, I could pick the front end up when you're cruising, and then when you get to the show, you could drop it on the ground and, you know, get the best of both worlds. I've never done an airbag system before, but, you know, do it real simple with a compressor and tee the line together so you've got up and down with the front end, just up and down, you know, real simple. I think that'd be all right. See, kind of there, kind of pogoed up and down going over the bumps. But I'm coming into town. I'm going to go get gas and get dinner, and then we'll go back to the shop and put them seats together. All right, bam. Got the seats mounted here. Check that out. Looks awesome. And I went, and before I mounted the passenger seat, I took the back off, and I took the second pin that was out here that was in the slot for the motor for the back rest. Now I can fold, it's a little stiff there, I can fold the seat all the way ahead like that. And there's a lot of tension on here, so it doesn't even need a retaining device because it's not going to fall ahead. But now I can get behind the seat, and I'll probably end up making like a little wooden block or foam block or something to screw into the back of the cab here, or stick onto the cab with two-sided tape, just because when the seat goes back, it can go all the way into the wall. Then if I do leave the headrests, they'll be like into the glass. So the seat actually needs to be about an inch or so ahead like that. But we'll just set it like that for now. And they're nice and mounted. I also mounted the stopper for the center seat. A couple of self-tapper screws, and I used some window adhesive dum-dum there. There's no screws in the bottom, but I stuck it to the wall with that, and that'll hold it. So that goes like that and holds the back of the seat. And then you've got your brute storage bin there. See on the driver's seat, what I was talking about, I'm going to take this back apart, take this pin out, because right now this seat can only do that. So I want to get behind it. What I plan on doing, probably, since there's no radio there, I'm going to put some switches and an oil pressure gauge. Since there's only idiot light, I'm going to put an oil pressure gauge and maybe another water temperature gauge that actually has degrees on it here, and then a couple of switches to run some things. But I might build a wooden box to go down here and, you know, have a stereo where I can get to it right here behind the seat, and then have a couple of speakers. I don't know. Probably be a good spot for that. But for now, it'll be fine. Watch me climb in here. I do need to make some kind of step, because right now I can grab the A-pillar and go up like that. But once the windshield is in, I won't be able to do that. But as you can see, they sit pretty tall. They're probably an inch higher than the stock Adventure seats. Probably were pretty thin, and these seats are a little beefier. So I do sit a little taller, but when I close the door, you know, I fit all right in the door hole. I got plenty of room to the steering wheel. I get my legs on the steering wheel. I can hit the clutch. I can reach the plow controls over here. I can run the shifter. No problem. Like that. So I'm looking right out of the center of the windshield. So even though I might be sitting like an inch proud or so of where I would be, it's really comfortable. These seats are super, super comfortable. Came out of a luxury Jeep, obviously. But I really sit up in the air in this thing, but it's good. You can see out the back window really well. I can see out the windshield really well. I can see perfectly. I'm lined up good. I can see right at all the gauges perfectly. I can reach everything really good. And Once I put the mirrors on, I'm sure it'll be fine, but these seats are going to be awesome in here. And I've been hanging on to them for a while, and they finally came in handy. That's right. Why trash them when you can stash them? I junked this Jeep that these came out of. Well, it was right when COVID started, because I remember that. So it was like March or April of 2020? Yeah, 2020. So 3.5 years ago. Been stashing them for 3.5 years. Didn't trash them. I stashed them. Now they're ready for action. That's it for now. Really good day and a half here of working on the Dodge, plus a Mercury ride right in the middle. So, thanks for watching. It came out good. Next time, we'll be working more on the Dodge. I got to get this thing done. Winter's coming, and I'd like to be able to have it out of here so I can work on other stuff. So until then, we'll see you next time. I'm going to sit here and think about cruising in my Dodge. We'll see you guys later. I'm also watching Laurel and Hardy. I got to watch that. All right, see you later. Bam.